Oh, this is the best of times. When I came 13 years ago, there was no practice of genetics in the Cleveland Clinic. There was very little, if any, research in genetics and genomic medicine. We now can do research in the lab benches. With the discoveries, we publish under peer scrutiny, and then we bring it to the bedside.
Genetics has an impact on what we do every day, particularly when it comes to determining the extent of surgery that patients choose. It also is having an impact now on the types of medical therapies that are used to treat patients with certain genetic mutations. And the relationship we have with genetic counselors and GMI is critical because there's a constant evolution of genetic knowledge, and it's important that we have this working relationship so we can provide our patients with the most up-to-date recommendations about how to pursue their care.
One of the great parts about the Center for Personalized Genetic Healthcare is that all of the genetic specialties are housed together. So not only are all of the cancer genetic counselors housed together where we can work as a team, but we also share with other specialties as well.
Everyone appreciates the fact that genetics and genomics is becoming very important in the practice of medicine. And there's a vision of what we call precision medicine, which will make everybody's health care even better. The problem we have is that we have a small workforce currently for genetic services in this country. So we've envisioned using technology to help increase access to these services. I think that you have a low-risk family history. One technology is telemedicine, and we'll use that for telemedicine for genetic services. Many people call that telegenetics. And the whole idea here is that we can use interactive audio-visual over the internet to a patient at a distant site to have access to the genetic counselor or the geneticist for services and overcome these barriers.
What makes us successful is really our push for innovation. We're always evaluating what we can do next in terms of technology to provide that personalized health care that is so important to the outcomes of a particular patient.
My model system is P10. P10 is a cancer-fighting gene, a tumor suppressor gene, which when altered, predisposes to breast, thyroid, and many cancers. Just as I was transitioning here, we found that it's associated with autism. In fact, it is one of the most common causes of autism spectrum disorder. We are able to look for not just P10, but over 400 genes that predispose to cancer, not counting the rest that predispose to heart disease, epilepsy, and so on. And by knowing the exact gene, we are able to give a gene-informed or gene-enabled clinical risk assessment. And knowing that, we're actually able to have high-risk or enhanced clinical screening and catching things early or preventing it altogether. And that is a triumph.
Working for Dr. Eng in her lab has been such an honor. She is such a great mentor, and she guides us in a way that is best suited for our career path. In GMI, we have a more open type lab where we can cross-communicate not only within just Dr. Eng's lab, but with Dr. Bing's lab and Dr. O'Connor's lab and Dr. Angela Ting's lab and Asha Kalyanpur and all the other new GMI PIs. And this also helps foster collaboration and just a stronger cohesiveness and network within the GMI department.
I think Cleveland Clinic is dedicated to providing genomic, guided, and precision healthcare through obvious collaborations between clinicians and researchers. Our plans are to, one, provide pharmacogenomic testing ideally to every single patient who walks through our doors, so that pharmacogenomics becomes the standard of care. Once a patient has been tested, the results are good for a lifetime. And I think that's what's great about pharmacogenomics at the clinic. We are really looking at it long term. How can we impact patient care? And how can we keep that information so that as new evidence grows, as we learn more and more each day, how we take that information from the bench to the bedside to continue to optimize patient care.
Above the Hôtel Dieu, which is the oldest hospital in the world, there's a plaque as you go in that says "Guérir quelquefois, soulager souvent, consoler toujours." It says to cure sometimes, but at the end, to comfort always. So we have the tools to be able to comfort. We have the tools to be able to relieve. We now have the genetic and genomic tools to be able to cure even better, to prevent.